Earlier today, one of the top players in MLB's free agency class, Carlos Correa, agreed to a contract with the Minnesota Twins for 6 years worth a total of $200 million. It's not the contract that most people would have predicted he got prior to the offseason, and that's because he had what many consider the craziest free agency saga of all time. Before I get into it, welcome to the War Room, a channel where I discuss all things sports related. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's get straight to it. This year's free agency class was absolutely loaded, especially at the shortstop position. Xander Bogaerts signed an 11-year, $280 million deal with the San Diego Padres. Trey Turner signed an 11-year, $300 million deal with the Philadelphia Phillies, and Dansby Swanson went to the Chicago Cubs for 7 years worth a total of $177 million. Being one of the better shortstops in the league, Correa was expected to get a bag as well, and he still did, but his free agency process wasn't as simple as the other three guys. On November 7th, Correa opted out of his deal with the Twins, making him a free agent. Over a month later, on December 13th, he found his new home, or so we thought. He agreed to a massive 13-year, $350 million deal with the San Francisco Giants. 1 week later, on December 20th, Correa was scheduled to have an 11 a.m. introductory press conference with the team. This is usually where the manager and the owner welcome their star player to their new home, they put on their jersey for the first time, and life moves on. If you've been following the Correa story closely, you would know that this press conference did not ever happen. Hours before Correa was going to be introduced, the Giants discovered a problem with his physical, and they chose not to sign him. San Francisco got a lot of heat for this because a player not being signed because of their physical is usually never really a problem. The narrative that was floating around is the Giants are stupid for backing out. They walk away from this loaded free agency pretty much empty-handed, they got their fan base's hopes up for nothing, and their management are the only ones dumb enough to mess this up. It also didn't help that the very next day, Correa agreed to a 12-year, $315 million deal with the New York Mets. And then on top of that, we later got more information as to what the actual issue was with the physical that the Giants had a problem with. It was because of a play that happened when Correa was in high A ball in 2014, when he fractured his fibula sliding into third base. When this news came out, the Giants got clowned even more. I mean, the injury was from 2014. Correa has been playing since then, and it was never really an issue, so why is it such a big deal now? Well, the Giants felt that because of the surgery on his fibula, they had concerns over Correa's mobility and how that surgery would hold up down the line of a 13-year contract. They felt the risk of him getting re-injured was too great, so they backed out. So it appeared that the Mets were taking some sort of risk, but clearly it didn't matter to them, until it did. As a few weeks went by following the Mets deal, they expressed the exact same concerns after seeing his physical and wanted to restructure the contract. I did make a video about the Giants failing to land Correa where I might have presented them in a bad light. I feel like as fans we are quick to criticize teams and players, but then when we get proven wrong, we never apologize, we just move on to criticizing the next team or player. But based on how this Correa Mets deal played out, I will admit to the San Francisco Giants, I was wrong. Clearly the issue that San Francisco had was justified, and they made the correct decision to not commit to him for 13 years. Because today, it all comes full circle, and after all of this drama, Carlos Correa is returning to the Minnesota Twins for 6 years, $200 million. Honestly, it's pretty crazy when you consider the fact that the Giants were about to commit an extra $150 million before everything went down. That contract could have been an all-time finesse for Correa, and none of us would have ever known it. MLB opening day is less than 80 days away, and I'm hyped for the season. So if you want more videos like this, subscribe to the channel, like this video if you enjoyed, and thank you for watching. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.